Welcome, sweet friends, to the channel Frugal Money Saver. My name is Emmy. My husband is Paul. We're so happy you have joined us today. Within the next week, we have 2 holidays, celebrations, festival days, whatever you want to call them, coming up. We have Super Bowl Sunday and we have Valentine's Day. I sat down and did a little research on how much people spend on these 2 days. According to the National Retail Federation, $25.9 billion is spent on Valentine's Day. Now let's go back to 1940 and see what that would be equivalent to. So for Valentine's Day, per person today, the average is about $193 people spend. Yikes, can you imagine? Go back to 1940. I take that $193 and it would come out to be about $21.20 per person. Think back to 1940. Would anyone have spent $21 on Valentine's Day? I cannot imagine them taking their hard-earned money back in the day and using it for that. I don't want to come off as anti-fun or anti-holiday because we are not. We are all for that. We celebrate anything. St. Patrick's Day, Valentine's Day, any holiday you want to throw at us, we're all over it. But we do it in a way that is economical, within budget, frugal, and the emphasis is on having a good time. On Super Bowl Sunday, people will spend about $16.5 billion, which is about $85 per person. Again, staggering statistics, right? That's a lot of money. Well, we're going to talk today about how we can bring the cost down of these 2 days or any holiday. What we're going to talk about today, you can apply to any holiday, any special occasion, from birthdays to graduations to anything, because it's just a common sense approach we're going to share with you. We are going to show you what Paul did for my no-spend birthday, because that is a celebration day. We're going to make an amazing Super Bowl Sunday appetizer that then we're going to turn into a beautiful Valentine's Day dinner. I know, you're wondering, what the heck are we doing? So sit back, relax, and let's get right to this. Let's just touch upon Valentine's Day first. Statistics show that about 27% of the people will go into debt for Valentine's Day. And that means that they will place charges on their credit card that will not be paid at the end of the month. First thing I'm going to tell you is, if you are one of those, please, please don't do it. I am going to show you ways to have a wonderful, wonderful Valentine's Day and not spend anywhere near that. The first thing you're going to want to do is, for any holiday, any special occasion, have a budget and stick to it. That is number one. Know how much you have to spend without going into debt, and then we're going to work around that amount. Valentine's Day really cashes in on the whole inflation aspect. Prices are raised for that day in particular. The price of flowers go up, heart-shaped boxes of chocolate, jewelry, all the common gifts that people give each other for Valentine's Day. Well, let's look at some alternatives to that. The first alternative I want to encourage you with is to celebrate Valentine's Day the weekend after. It falls on a Tuesday this year. Celebrate it on Saturday or Sunday. You know why? Because everything will at least be 50% off, if not more. If you just have to give someone a box of chocolates, tell them you're going to celebrate on Saturday and snag that box of chocolate for 50% off. The second thing you can do, instead of a big bouquet of flowers or some kind of floral arrangement, how about a small, beautiful plant or one single rose? I think that speaks volumes, so much more than a big, giant bouquet of flowers that unfortunately are going to be thrown in the garbage in a couple days. Another really fun thing to do is cook dinner at home. Restaurant prices will be inflated as well. We all know that. If you've ever gone to eat on Valentine's Day in a restaurant, it seems like they have a special menu that they pull out and prices really are inflated. So create a meal together at home. Help your partner. If you usually do the cooking, ask them to come on in, give you a hand. If they do the cooking, ask them if you can help. Do chores for one another. Swap out chores. Pick up the chores that day that your partner usually does and do those chores for them. That's another really great way to bless someone. Make your own Valentine. Remember as a child in school, you would get red construction paper and paper doilies and you'd glue them and maybe there'd be some glitter and sequins. Go back to that. Go to the dollar store with your significant other or your children and go buy some supplies and make homemade Valentines and give them to people that you love and care about. Wonderful, wonderful idea. Another one that I really want you to think about is Valentine's Day caters to those who have a significant other. Let's not forget those who may be by themselves this holiday. Reach out. Let them know you love them. Let them know how special they are. It is so important. It's kind of like the only holiday where really there's an emphasis on being a couple. So let's remember those who may be alone and reach out and let them know how much we love them. And my favorite of all that Paul did for my birthday is called the Thrift Store Challenge. I'm going to tell you what it is and then I'm going to show you. The Thrift Store Challenge is where you actually have a set amount of money. You go into a thrift store with that set amount of money and you buy the person whatever you think they'd like. Now we're going to veer off just for a minute. We're going to talk about my birthday. I wanted a no-spend birthday just like Paul had. He was adamant about not feeling comfortable without giving me a token gift. And I was like, I really don't care. And I am not anti-gift. Please, again, I love gifts. But I just didn't feel that he needed to do that. But to him, it was very important. You're going to take $10 and that's all you're going to take. And you're going to go into the thrift store and you're going to find some things for $10 that you think I would like. Whether it be one item, 2 items, 3 items, whatever you want to do, but no more than that. I'm going to turn the camera around and I'm going to show you what he came out with. And this would be a wonderful, wonderful idea for any special occasion where you feel you'd like to give someone a little gift. Let's turn the camera around and see what he got.
So I took my $10 cap to the thrift store the other day and I found new in the box, never opened, we just opened these up, these beautiful Corningware pots that we could probably use in South Carolina at the Little House. Look at this, $5 for this one, $3 for this one, brand new in the box. And look at this, the lid, never used, never cooked in, just a little dust from packaging. Look at that, isn't that beautiful? Can't wait to taste the casseroles that come out of here. This is great. Look, even has the paperwork inside. So what a find. This dish has a beautiful pansy flower arrangement on the front. It's beautiful. It comes with a lid. Once again, brand new, in the box, never used.
The design is on both sides, which is so beautiful. And what's so great is this is 3 quarts. So how well does he know me?
This is wonderful.
This blew me away.
This beautiful tablecloth with no stains, there's no ripped edges, nothing. $1. Gorgeous.
Yeah, this was really beautiful. It's right up my alley too.
This is going to look fantastic. So $10, well spent, gorgeous.
How fun was that and how well does he know me? Not only allowed him to feel like he was blessing me, which of course he did, but also for him to be creative. He was able to look at something and say, that's my wife. And that meant so much more to me than if he would have gone into a store and bought me a diamond necklace or whatever it may be. So be creative when it comes to gift giving for these holidays. Now let's move on to Super Bowl Sunday. Even if you don't follow football, Super Bowl Sunday is a great way to gather with friends. And we are, again, all for celebrating any kind of party, happiness, gathering. We're all over that. So for Super Bowl Sunday, keep it simple. I want to encourage you to do that. Keep it simple. Some easy economical foods would be maybe a tray of baked ziti, something like that if you want to serve a main meal. If you're going to serve chips and dip, make one big main dip, which I'm going to show you how in a minute, and then maybe add around it different dippers, maybe some corn chips, some crackers, pretzels, whatever it may be, to make it elegant and to make it filling. Popcorn, so much fun. People love popcorn. Make some salty and sweet, make some with cinnamon sugar, add some garlic powder to some. Just be creative. It's not about having to go to the local deli to buy a 7-foot wedge that's going to cost you hundreds of dollars. Please think about it. Unless this is something that is super important to you, that you have to do by spending that kind of money, I would rethink it. Where else can that money go in your life? People will still have a wonderful time. People will still talk about how gracious of a host or hostess you were. It's about the atmosphere you create and making people feel welcome and content. Now, my biggest fear is always that people will not have enough food to eat when they come to my home. So I do tend to overcook and overserve, but I am learning to get better because we don't need a ton of leftovers. Let's get into the kitchen and let me show you how to make an amazing Super Bowl dip that you're going to make extra of so that you can transform it into an elegant Valentine's Day dinner. So let's get into the kitchen. Are you ready to make this delicious dip that is later going to turn into a scrumptious Valentine's Day dinner? We are cutting this recipe in half, so the measurements I'm giving you are half measurements. I will link the original recipe down below and you adjust it accordingly. First thing is 4 ounces of cream cheese, softened, 1 cup of shredded cheese. You can use cheddar. This is Colby Jack. A 1/4 cup of mayonnaise, 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, 2 teaspoons of a ranch style dressing mix, and I'll show you in a minute what I use. That's in here. 1/4 cup of bacon, which I am thinking is about 2 slices. So this is going to be so yummy. The half recipe calls for 3 teaspoons of ranch dressing, like that. I guess you could use Hidden Valley, whatever. But I am using this. I am using ranch seasoning blend from Trader Joe's. This is a perfect substitute for those packaged ranch dressings for us. And by all means, you can make your own ranch seasoning. We have our cream cheese in the mixer. We're going to add our 1/2 cup of sour cream. Remember, use your spatula. Get everything out. Our 1/4 cup of mayo and our cup of grated cheese. Now, we always buy block cheese and grate it ourselves. We just prefer it that way. I'm just going to incorporate these ingredients all together. And now I'm going to take our ranch seasoning, add that in. You know what? You know who I am. I am going to do half of this. I'm going to put about a teaspoon of this ranch seasoning in there because I'm thinking the cheese has salt, the bacon has salt, the mayo has salt, and I don't want salt overload because then that will just ruin it. You do it to taste, please. My garlic, and then we're just going to crumble this bacon in. If you don't use fresh bacon like this, make sure you get the real bacon in the packages and not like those dry Bako bits. I don't think it will quite have the same taste or texture. We're going to fold this all together. We folded our ingredients together and now I am just going to transfer it into a serving bowl. Again, this is a half recipe. You can double the ingredients for sure. I'm gonna cover this and I'm gonna put it in the refrigerator for at least an hour, at least. And then we'll give it a taste, and then I'm going to show you what you can do by making extra to make a yummy Valentine's Day meal.
Well, here we go. We're going to try the bacon cheese dip that we made with stuff we found in our refrigerator. Didn't have to run to the store and buy dip. Look at this. It looks beautiful. I'm going to try it right here on this cracker. I always keep a cracker in my pocket just for this. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there's not going to be much of this left after the game. This tastes fantastic. It's fresh tasting. It's got cheese. You know what you could even do? Add a little horseradish to this.
Oh, that's a good idea.
This is awesome. This has a great flavor to it. You got to try it. You probably have everything in your refrigerator to make this. Poll approved.
Dixie Lee. That dip is so delicious. It is hearty, it's filling, it's easy, it's economical, it's frugal, it's all the things we love. What I want to do now is we're going to turn the camera around, get back into the kitchen, and we're going to show you what we did with that exact same dip recipe. What I'm encouraging you to do, if you're only going to have a couple of people, make a full batch of that dip. If you're going to have a lot of people, make a batch and a half. And what you're going to want to do is take that half batch and put it in the refrigerator and save it so that you can make this delicious Valentine's Day meal. Now we're going to take delicious bacon and cheese dip and we're going to make a Valentine's Day worthy dinner. So I have a 9x13 pan here, and I am just going to take my chicken breasts that we have sliced thin and put them right in here. I've also preheated my oven to 375. That little guy in there too. Now all I'm going to do is take this dip and I am going to spread it on each piece of chicken. Now this dip is separate. All of this is going to go on the chicken. You cannot take this dip and put the spoon back and forth from the chicken into the dip, then eat the dip, because that'll be total cross-contamination. So that's why I removed the amount I wanted to use, and we'll use it all, because you cannot eat it as dip once you stick that spoon back in it. Now, the only reason we are able to do this is because Valentine's Day and the Super Bowl are only 2 days apart this year. The Super Bowl is the 12th, the Sunday, so you make the dip in the morning for the Super Bowl, and then you make that extra for 2 days later, and it'll already be done, and the flavors will be together. Make sure you keep the dip covered and stored in the refrigerator. Could this have been any easier? Now I'm going to place it in the oven and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes. Now, while this is baking, you can roast some potatoes, roast some vegetables, whatever you want to eat on the side with this. We sliced the chicken thin, so it cooked about 25 minutes and reached a safe internal temperature of 165 degrees. Look at this meal. The chicken came out perfect. We just paired it with a little sauteed brown rice. We've got some delicious green beans. What an elegant meal. That is one way to elevate a simple chicken breast. It came out so tasty, and the dip was already made, so dinner on Valentine's Day was basically effortless. Just put it in the oven, throw in some baked potatoes, a green vegetable or a salad, and you are good to go. Add a little sweet treat for dessert. How about your significant other's favorite candy bar with a ribbon tied around it? That's all we really need, right? We had so much fun doing this video. Please don't only apply these ideas to like Valentine's Day or the Super Bowl. Take them throughout the year for birthdays, anniversaries, Easter's coming up. Be creative, set a budget, work within that budget, and your special days will become so memorable, not based on money, based on the simple philosophy of sharing a meal or a special occasion, just being together. So important. Our question of the day is, what are you doing for Valentine's Day? What are you doing for Super Bowl? What is your best dip recipe? What is your best appetizer? Give us your best low-cost Valentine's Day gift. Apply it to any celebration that you can think of and share with us down below. We thank you so much for being here with us today. We ask that you please give this video a big thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. We'd love you to join our Frugal family. We ask you to be well. We ask you to stay safe. And above all, we wish you blessings. Until our next video, may God bless you.